What's up, Dokkan doers? I've been reading on Twitter a lot lately that people are confused as to who the slot 1 units are. So I thought I'd make a quick guide. This is all based upon my opinions and functionality and usage of the characters. So, please don't take it all to fact, but I'm going to do the best I can here. So I've set up some slots here, like I'm a slot 1 unit, which could mean, you could still die, right? Every unit can die, but for the most part, they won't. I can be a slot unit, but I might also die, right? Conditionally, I can be a slot 1 unit, and I have no other options but to put me in slot 1. So let's dig in. So Vegeta, Gogeta, they're not slot 1 units. Until they transform on turn 4, you should not be putting them in slot 1. However, conditionally, on turn 4, yes, they can be slot 1 units. And also, once they transform into Gogeta and Vegito, yes, they can be slot 1 units, especially if they have their actives up. So let's just drop them both into the conditional category. While we're on the topic of conditionally, I'm going to also put Frieza and Goku conditionally. So, turn 4, you're able to switch to Goku. Assuming you have over 77% health, you can tank, and you can tank pretty damn well. So, conditionally, he can also be a slot 1. Gohan, he has no business being a slot 1 unit. However, he has not failed me too often as a slot 1 when I had no other options. So, just something for you to think about as you're moving through your rotations. This could potentially be a fit. Gogeta. I think he's also falling into the I have no other options. Put me in slot 1. Make sure you get him a rainbow orb. Hopefully he hits a couple times and maybe he'll live. LR Namek Goku. Okay, he should be a slot 1 unit, but he's probably gonna die. And in most situations, when you have him in a fight, especially in the highest echelon of content, he is definitely gonna die. Like, if he doesn't, you're gonna have no health left. It's gonna be a challenge to get that back, but we'll leave him there. I can be a slot 1 unit, but I can also almost die. I think Buhan, he's one of those, I have no other options. Let's throw him in slot 1, and he can do just fine based upon the orbs and everything he gets. So he may even be on the conditionally, I can be a slot 1 tier unit, but I think it's more of a I have no other options. So let's put him there. Janemba, definitely a slot 1 unit, right? 90% chance to dodge. Defensives, if he gets hit a couple times, I think it's just bad RNG, right? So we'll leave him there. Namek Frieza, I think also he's a little better than the Goku, maybe a lot better than the Goku, but I think he's also I can be a slot 1 unit, but I still also might die. So we're just gonna leave him right there. The monkeys. So I think he's I have no other options. Put me in slot 1 type of dude. When he transforms and he builds up a little bit, you might be able to put him in slot 1 a little bit more frequently, but in this form, he has dodge. So I think he's still if I have no other options, put me in there. Hercule. I think he is probably ahead of these two guys, to be honest, but he can be a slot 1 unit. He could also die if you have bad RNG, so we'll leave him there. Daima Goku. So I would say probably even better than Frieza, to be honest, or Frieza Goku. So, first turn, he has his dodge, whatever, he's gonna live. It's great. Then you kind of rotate him off. I would say conditionally he could be there. I I would say if you have no other options, you can also put him there. Um, he's pretty good. He supports teams. He's very, very underrated. We like him a lot. Go tanks. So I'd probably put him right here, maybe. I'm not really trying to do this in order, but just so people get a gist, like it's a general sense of the order. Um, look, he could be a slot one unit if his defense procs. Yeah, he's fine. It doesn't, he's not okay. I feel like he's also fitting under the if I have no other options, you can put me in slot one, but 9 out of 10 times when you're running him, he is the guy that you're putting in slot one and you're just kind of rolling the dice. So you can go from there. I think Boo here. I think he could be a slot one unit. He could also die. I think he's very contingent upon what orbs he's getting and what's going on and is his domain up, yada 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 yada. So we're just gonna leave him right there. Barris, I think we can probably, it's safe to say like he would be either the last person in the I am a slot one unit or the first person in the I can be a slot one unit but might also die. So I'm probably gonna just leave him up there. So this guy, the Goku, the Heroes Goku, I don't think a lot of people have him. And the people that do don't really seem to value him too much for some reason, but this guy kind of cooks for me. So I think it's if I have no other options, we're going to put him in here. And I kind of like him maybe even above the Buhan. Maybe even above the Gogeta, to be honest. Like something like this. I don't know. That's just my thoughts and feelings on it. Slug, I don't know, man. Like he's okay, but I feel like he ends up dying for me a lot. So I'm gonna leave him as the I can be a slot one unit, but I might also die. Janemba. Big Janemba. Big LR Janemba. So he is, the epitome of the slot one unit. He is not going to die. If he does, it's a very, very bad RNG roll. Definitely put him ahead of the pack over here. Broly, Tech Broly, kind of same deal, right? Maybe even ahead of Janemba. Just your definitive slot one unit. Even if you don't need him in slot one, like you could put him in slot two, he'd do a little bit more damage, but generally speaking, keep him in slot one. The Baldy. So we're gonna give him a conditionally, maybe even put him ahead of Daima, just thinking about his condition, which is, once he goes into standby for X amount of turns, he is virtually invincible as long as you get some orbs. So we'll leave him there. UI Goku, I would probably put him in the top of the, what the hell is wrong with this thing? I can be a slot one unit, but I might also die. And then conditionally, once he transforms, he can definitely be a slot one unit doing counterattacks. He won't die at that point, but this guy seems to sell out for me all the time. And we're just going to leave him there. Excuse me. So next on the list is Cell Max. I think, I've fallen out of love with this guy. He can be a slot one unit for a few turns, and then he will just get one shot, but he also has really freaky conditions. I guess as I'm saying that, we can put him here. And if you don't have movie bosses or artificial life forms or whatever, he is pretty bad, but let's give him a mention, right? As a tank. Beast. I think he's the only guy who can beat Tech Broly at the moment. Consistently, constantly, just your first line of defense against pretty much everything, right? Taunting, doing everything you need this man to do. Tech Broly. So I would actually find him a little bit more reliable than this is kind of hard. Like, I would find him more reliable than UI Goku in most cases. But transformation wise, I don't even know. I might rejigger that to something like this in that order. So this might be a hot take of mine, but at least for the first, 4 or 5 turns or so that SS3 shows up, I feel like he is pretty damn good. I feel like he could be, up here, maybe here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put him over there, right? So like, he has a condition, but his condition is like he's gradually losing stuff. So I'm gonna leave him right there, and we'll see how we feel about that later. Gogeta, I think he's kind of like right here for me. Like he can definitely tank, especially if he's transformed, and maybe in the highest raw slot 1 frame 1. He may die, but I also built him with dodge, so he lives a lot. I don't know. I'm gonna leave him there. The Vegeta, I think like we would trust him more than most of these other people. I still think he can die in the hardest of content right now, but I think that's where we'd probably put him. So this dude, Boo, I would say he can be a slot 1, but he may also die. I still think he's like probably better than everybody up to this point. Maybe not Vegeta. They're probably like interchangeable. Bulma, I think she's the, if I have no other options, you can use her as a slot 1. She might die, but what are you gonna do? So the GOAT here, right? I would say he's at sort of the top of the conditionally I can be a slot 1 unit, because the Broly trio, as long as you're getting 7 orbs, you are dodging 100% of everything that's coming in, right? So he could be a slot 1 100% unit. He could be, hey, I could be there sometimes and then I might also die, but conditionally, if you get 7 orbs, that man is living forever. So we're gonna kind of blow through the rest of these guys just so that we can not ramble on for an hour. So the trio, I would kind of put them as like, hey, if I have no other options, I'll throw them in there. I think the Cell is pretty good as well to be in that situation, but he does need a ton of orbs. UI Goku, I would say, sits right about here for me. Mine typically doesn't like to dodge, so he can be a slot 1 unit. He can also die if he doesn't dodge. 100% dodge on the first time he shows up. Vegeta, I mean, I love the dude. I'm gonna put him like kind of right at the top here of this, and I'm gonna say like, with the hardest fights, he might die if he's getting frame 1 supered, but as long as he's got a couple of hits in him, he's okay. I'm gonna skip those for now. I would say he's a, if I have no other options, put him in there. I would say that this guy, he probably fits like, he's probably like right after these 2, 3. So like he's gonna take the hit, right? But he's gradually losing defense, and he's probably gonna die, right? Golden Frieza, so especially with the amount of turns that are going on these days, like he's not gonna have enough. All right, so we're gonna put these guys in the like, I can be a slot 1, but I could die. Like, she's dodge or die. He's very like conditionally, but like he can stun, he can dodge, he can do everything. So like in rare extreme cases, you can put him in there. We'd probably put him maybe like right there, Topo. And then Bunny Bulma, you know, obviously she can dodge everything. So if you need her, you know, put her in that. I might even put Jocko like higher than both of them. I don't know. Something like that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, you know, assuming the 2 7th year anniversary units, Easy A, you know, their condition is slot 1. There's no slot 1 units really like floating around these Gogeta teams. And I don't know, man. My best guess would be like they are going to be slot 1 units, right? Like I can't see them not being slot 1 units, but you know, who am I to know? That's just a guess and a little bonus for this list, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this and can use it for some sort of guidance or reference, and hopefully this demystifies some of the like, why am I putting a unit in the slot 1, which units can be in slot 1, and you know where they're supposed to be. Thank you guys, and you know, hopefully you enjoyed this. Take care.